You ready? Oh, who's ready? Who's ready? Who's ready for some boom, baby? Boom! Rise. Sunday morning motivation time. I'm tired. Waking up after 4 or 5 a.m., working the whole night without making any money. And I sat and watched people for maybe 5, 6 hours straight. And last night I witnessed a lot of sad individuals grow sadder, grow more unrealistic, grow more fake. And I watched people grow their fake right in front of me last night. And I was like, wow, where's the real? Where are the real people at? Where's the Ito? Where's the real? And that was this morning's motivation was it's hard to get real. It's hard to get real when you're covering up a lot of lies like underneath it all, right? Like there's so many things underneath it that we do like, oh yeah, I'm going to put on makeup, then I feel confident, but then I'm just lying about my confidence, so then the makeup smears after. Or yeah, I'm fine. But then I'm like leeching on people and getting kicked out of the place and probably doing more than I should, or the fact that most of the people appeared and they were just staggering over themselves, um, a shell of who they actually are. And I think that's the saddest part is watching people become a shell of themselves, right? I'm talking like stumbling over their own feet while they're standing. I'm talking about being in like Instagram live battles. I filmed it because I was like, look at these girls. They literally, I don't know anyone that's ever done this before, but thought it was appropriate to bring a whole tripod to a nightclub and use it on the people in the public. And it's intrusive, for a guy that goes live every morning. And I have friends that are in real life, um, trying to portray a real life. The IRL isn't actually real life. It's them insecure. It's them staring at their phone. It's them competing with each other. The girls did like dual live cast, and it was like the one girl didn't get enough attention, so she had to go live, and they're both going live right next to each other, gyrating in front of the phone, ignoring the world around them. And as soon as they got off the phone, they got sad. They buried themselves down, their head got down, and they were not as lit as they pretended to be on the live. And I was just like, wow, where's the real? Where is it real? Where is it really about to be my birthday? Where are my friends really at? And why are people not as real as they could be? This is a real question. And it turns out because there's a lot going on with people, things you can't even see. Some people are on the up, some people are on the down, some people are just trying to medicate themselves. And I was like, okay, I get it. If this is the way it's going to be, that you gonna feel good. The one guy, as tall as he is as drunk as he is. And I've seen him in that bar multiple times and grabbing on people, yelling at people, and he's a good looking dude. He's a tall, good looking dude. You think he would be covered in women, and then instead he's like repulsing them. And I was thinking, I think if he only knew that if he cleaned up his act just a little bit, he'd be a killer. But instead, he wants to kill himself. He wants to kill his growth. He doesn't want to actually grow. That would be hard work, right? That would be real. That would be Aito. And I think that's what ends up happening is we'll get on the sauce, fake dopamine. Hey, everybody, look at me, even though you have no following, or I'm scared, so I'm gonna drink liquid bravery and pretend that I'm strong, or try to build fake rapport with people without actually talking to them, just assuming things. And I had a couple people come up to the table and pretend like they were gonna buy something or just to bullshit with me. What is this? And then just walk off all scared. It was like I can tell when people are really interested, and I can tell when people are tire kicking and bullshitting. And I wasn't really there to make money. That's what my day job's for. But just to participate in my friends' excitement. It had good music, it had great lighting, they had the whole thing pretty much bopping, full of women dancing on the dance floor. It was quite interesting. But What I didn't see is any connection, right? It's the same walls it was 2 years before. It's the same drinks that people are drinking before. And without any progress, you're in the same situation you were before. And this is why I was tripping out, because I also had a couple things happen with my friends. You know, my friend was like, "Hey, yo, I got your pin here," and I was like, "Yeah, it's empty." He's like, "Yeah, I know. I tried to hit it," and I was just like, "You're smoking my weed, right? But I can't stay where you're at. I got you." I'm missing candy bars. I'm missing all sorts of things in my life. And when I look at my life, I go, "Is this? Is it me? Is it me that has to get authentic? Is it me that's calculating incorrectly? Is it possible that I'm seeing things maybe differently for a reason?" And I think the reason is I wanted to be real. I wanted to be real with myself. I didn't want to be peeled up off the couch in the morning and my life wasn't strong. You know, it had added up. And my friend calling me talking about, "I got all your tax stuff. Get rid of this box. I'm not a storage unit." And I'm like, "Girl, it's like 4 a.m. where I am. I'm working my ass off. And you had plenty of time to tell me about this multiple times ago. You could have told me, hey, I keep walking by this box and I don't get it done." And I knew it was tax season, what, February, April, even now it's tax season. And I knew she didn't have any time to do it. So I didn't hustle. I didn't crack a whip. I didn't force her to do anything she didn't want to do. It's just a box. Mind you, I have another buddy that's got a box of mine and a black plastic bag full of my shit. No complaints. It's just a little section off in their garage. And she's got a big ass garage too. But to flip it and go, "I'm not your storage unit." And I'm like, "I'm not your psychologist. How many times did I take you out to sushi? We were going out to eat and you're crying in public, or you're crying over a boy, or you were just not good company." And I think to myself, I go, literally, lady, we are the ones that push people away. We are the ones that have ignored our friends, went and had kids, and then we try to come back and act like we're civilized. And I went to my situation and I was like, that's not what it is. This is like a defect. This is like something that makes you just spin your wheels and then you never know how to get out of the mud, right? These people may never know how to get real. They might never see their fakeness ever, and then they'll double down on it. Like, "Oh man, as long as I have some kind of somebody watching me on Instagram, I'm going to gyrate around strangers and ignore my environment." Right, the real environment. This is the surrogate now, right? Where I'm sending out this pretty character that doesn't have as much confidence as I'd like it to. My real character's back at home on a couch somewhere with freckles and blemishes, and we want to go out there covered in cologne, covered in makeup, covered in fake confidence, and we're like, "Yeah, this is me. This is the real me." And it was like, would the real you want to hurt you, right? Would the real you want to look for validation from others? Does real even need that kind of fakeness? And this is where it's at. This is all of it. It's all every commercial you've ever watched. It's every time that you saw skinny Bacardi models smiling and they don't have the hangover. I looked at some girls as soon as the lights went on about 4:38 this morning, and they look nothing like the happy camper that they wish to be. They're stumbling in their heels, right? They're whapping themselves with fucking blankets. They're doing all sorts of shit to get real. Because even if you wanted to fake it, you go outside in 25-degree weather, you're going to need a blanket, right? There's only certain things that you can go for so long. Maybe it's a mall. You know, it's air conditioned in the mall. It's got a heater in the mall, but you can't fake nature. Nature doesn't give a fuck about your fashion. If you're fucking cold, it will freeze you out. You know what I mean? It doesn't care if you wore the new Prada or not. So this is like that what reality I choose to live in. That's what it really is like, do I live in this dystopia where I look at social media and that's my guidance? You know, my homie was like, post it. The guy off of what's his name, Rammstein or something. The Duas. I don't know. I didn't even still look up his name because I'm not clout chasing. This is like, so what? Somebody fucking blew up my shit on a digital thumbs up. That doesn't make my life happier, right? You can be impressed by someone that might give you the illusion that you'd be happier, right? Like everybody loves Leonardo DiCaprio. Leonardo DiCaprio smokes cigarettes, bro. That's real. And you're over there going like, he's so cute, but like, blind eye. And it was just like, yeah, bro, we blind eye a lot of things. We pretend like we're not seeing him age, especially older with the cigarettes, because we're still on a movie set for Titanic, which was over 20 years ago. We are still wearing some of the same pants because we want to feel like our youth is still there. But that's not how age works. Age doesn't work that way. Age makes you learn real quick what your age is about. It makes you realize real quick what life is about because it's even. It's even. You don't get to go backwards. No one has a rewind button. No one has a reset button. So all of us have to age. All of us have to get blemishes. All of us have to look foolish. This is just part of life. I think the tough part of life is that we portray a situation where someone else is happier, or we believe them to be happier when the situation is just for you to be real. That's the ultimate happiness of it all, because as soon as the moment you leave down fantasy island or outer sources, like, it's going to be the alcohol, it's going to be the drugs, it's going to be the girl. We're dependent on somebody watching on our YouTube. We're dependent on somebody watching on our lives. We're dependent on somebody believing our lies. That's where flying monkeys come in. That's where my ex-girlfriend came around, and then her best friend was like, I'm sorry I said anything that I might have hurt you, or fake ass sorry. And I went, no offense, bro, but you're one of the flying monkeys. You're one of those that just got it in your head and be like, yeah, I'm gonna believe one lie, so let me go spread some lies, and then I'm gonna just be all about verbal vomit coming out of my mouth. And I was like, how is that helpful? Like, in your soul, how is it helpful to manipulate situations that aren't real? This is literally going into Neville Goddard and closing your eyes and opening your eyes and go, is the house still unclean? Okay, now, let me see, if I close my eyes for 5 minutes and visualize my eyes working around the house and cleaning it up, can I not see myself creating that motion and cleaning? Can I not visualize, like, yeah, sure, it's like this right now? Take a before picture, becomes here comes the after. And that's where I think most people don't even spend a second on concentration, is their afterlife. Everybody spent their whole lives in Egypt worried about their afterlife. And it's almost like they ignored their real life just so they can obsess about their afterlife. And then you don't get to enjoy the time in between. Like, some of these pharaohs are dying at 16. You're like, you're like, yeah, man, I want to have this huge afterlife. I want to have this huge pharaoh situation. But even Tutankhamun was a little bit retarded. I think he had a collapsed lung. He had like short feet. He had some really fucked up features. Most people don't want to grow up like that. Who was the other one? The Habsburg king. Habsburg's fucking spleen is coming out and with green. He was impotent. He was retarded. His jaw was literally leaking every time he spoke, but he's the king. So in our lives, we'll want to realize something like the king is better than everyone, when really the king is retarded. One of the Habsburg's kings, or like we were speaking about, he had hemophilia, right? I think it came from Queen Victoria's side, from the German side, the hemophilia in the Romanov dynasty before they got all caught up with Rasputin. He literally could cut and wouldn't stop bleeding, right? This was inherited. Same with the Habsburgs. This is inherited genetics, where we just believe that he's a king doesn't make the truth less of a reality. The king is retarded. You can never say that, right? Like, you can't demerit these things. Seth sees, hello, we're aging, keep on reality. The mouth reveals the heart. Bro, this is going down to your girl. Her name is Pamela Anderson, one of the most beautiful women on the planet, doesn't wear makeup anymore. She refuses. She shows her blemishes. She shows her aging, and she shows all the wrinkles now, because think how many girls she sold tank tops to, or makeup to, or sex tapes to, because they thought they could be like Pamela Anderson. They could be that beautiful. And she's pumping them all full of fake breasts, right? And she's the one that's taking out her implants multiple times. Like she keeps vacillating, have big tits, not be fake, have big tits, not be fake. And there's a lot of girls that would just rather have big tits and get fake attention and have fake suitors and live a fake life with their fake tits, hang them all the way out, and then die with plastic in them. You know what I mean? Like Tutankhamun, the whole glass case, everything looked beautiful. But when they did the DNA test on this guy, he was like thwarted. Like his body was really awkward. If you ever get a chance, go do the research. Ramses II was a real man. Tutankhamun was like a bystander that died early, and only because he had that big gold case that looks beautiful. That's not what his face looked like. It's like, how do we know what our real face looks like unless we look ourselves really in the mirror, not what other people are seeing, but how we register with ourselves? This is the best communication you could ever have. If you can check in and go, I'm here. You know, if you can check in, look in the mirror and be like, I'm here. And send yourself some love, especially when you're brushing your teeth in the morning, and especially with the left hand, because then you have to switch the brain waves, the brain patterns that we give ourselves. And that's what we do. We check into either a real hotel or a fake motel, and we live in that bitch. And and some of these motels are nice, right? You see all the girls with the lights and the outfits and everything's nice. And then we have to turn it off. You have to turn the TV off eventually. You can't live in fake reality every fucking time. I was looking at Finland, and they have a what was it? Love Island Finland style. They have a. I was like, do they have Kim Kardashian Finland style? Do they have what are these other ones? The Full Moto or whatever that's called, Full Blast, or the motorcycle show from England. They remade it in Finland, and every one of them is bringing on their own cast and characters, but there's no originality here. It's like same as like Real World or regurgitating Jersey Shores or the Kardashians. You know what I mean? We chew on these things expecting them to be reality, when on all reality they paid everyone to be around them. Right, everyone that's in the Starbucks is an actor. This is the real truth too. And it's like, you think it's a set, you think it's live, like they're just random people just around them in the Starbucks, but they're all paid actors. We're all competing on a fake life where the standards aren't even realistic. Some people have unrealistic bank accounts, and some people are pushing that unrealistic lifestyle so that you believe the lie as much as they believe the lie. Right? There's nobody on their lives. They don't have a life to live, right? This is a fucking blown out. I've seen this girl before. She blocked me on Instagram. She added me last week, but now she wants to pretend like she doesn't know me. But you should have seen her face when I showed up live. She was just like, "Oh shit, this is really real." And now I have to face somebody in real life after I block them. You're right. Yeah, you can block people, but you can't block their whole conversation. You can't block the conversation that's coming with me and Jenny Face when we got to get real with each other. And I told her about being an emotional tampon and crying in public and crying at dinners and letting all her drama get absorbed during sushi instead of us talking about world travel and awesome things. This is what's true. You know, it's not the box. It's not the box that's sitting in her garage, and it's a big ass garage. And I know she doesn't even notice. It's her attitude. Her attitude is like, wherever you're at, England or Finland, I'm hoping you're having fun. I'm like, you don't really hope that I'm having fun. You're mad that you're not having fun. You're mad that you got to sit there in that same blank ass backyard up against the same blank ass wall with no fucking thing going on, just you at the house alone, smoking those same damn cigarettes like they're your best friend. Go get some real friends, man. Go get some people that are around for a long time. Try to build relationships and rapport with people. And that can only happen when you get real. Because if you go up to them and you try to have a real conversation, like, hey guys, I got you got them on my YouTube. That's nice. They're not even there. They're leaving, they're still living in their life. They're still living on that fakery. And that's why I love Saint's Addiction. Is like, I couldn't be fake with myself. I had to get real with myself. I had to really earn income, and I really had to do a business. And the girl was like, well, I'm a woman and I own a business. And I sat there and I looked and I was like, yep, I have about 5 brands and 15 businesses, and I hustle my motherfucking ass off. And she couldn't believe me. And she was like, but you're a man. And I'm like, I'm the man. I'm the man that can do names on shirts. I'm the man that owns namesonshirts.com. And when you come up to me and ask me if you can put all your names of your children's on those shirts, I can look you in the eye and say, yes, I can, because I'm that man. I did the work, I own the domain name, and I've done it before. That comes from my reality. It's really real that I can print things. It's really cool that I can go to the print shop and go get some blank shirts and bring my TTFs around the world. And I'm probably going to need some Finland ones and some stickers too, but that's neither here nor there. This is just, how real are you when you're around? How real is your life? Or is it surreal? You know, it would be nice to be surreal, because it's like, I can't believe this is really my life. This is surreal. But most of us do the unrealistic. We go, oh yeah, it's let me jump in and grab some vodka, and that's gonna make everything okay. That's unrealistic. What the guy do? Grey Goose vodka. He said, go get yourself some French vodka. Remember, like, French vodka. Isn't it Russian vodka? No, no, no. French is more expensive, right? Like, and then go grab all the bottles, and we're going to make ours 30% taller and 30% more expensive than anyone else, right? And that became Grey Goose vodka. And because of our perspectives, right? If it's mentioned by someone, say like a Jay-Z, I'm there with Jay-Z. I was really in front of Jay-Z and Floyd Mayweather Jr. arguing who's gonna pay for the bottle. And Floyd Mayweather bust out all 10 grand racks, like rack, like 100 grand in cash. He's like, I'm paying for it, right? Do you know that Floyd Mayweather doesn't even drink? Like, I'm dead dog serious. He never drank through his whole career. I seen it with my own eyes. Why are you buying bottles for a bunch of people that you're not even getting a sip of it? Like, that was the interest of it, you know, that say, I can afford this. I can be the man. And if you have to prove it, then you ain't got it. I really believe that. Like, either you got it or you don't. Either you're tall or you're not, or either you're beautiful or you're not. It's like, either you have it or you don't. And that's what my favorite lyrics from Lyrics on Shirts, your boy, what's his name, Little Wayne, would say, it ain't tricking if you got it, right? You got a fake ass, you ain't got shit, you know. And that was the lyrics. It was just like, you know, a lot of people are trying to fake it with a fake ass or a fake tits or a fake life. And it's just like, people can smell it. We can smell it, and we're just waiting for you to leave the closet. You're like a kid that played imaginary what do you do with cardboard boxes, and you build a fort and shit, you know what I mean? Like, you're in an imaginary world as a child, thinking that everybody's thinking about you when they're not. No one really gives a fuck. And it's even sadder when you're pretending to be an influencer, and nobody's influenced. That's weird. And then also, that when the camera has to go off, that they get sad and they sulk down. That happened with my other ex homie, who would do the in real life, Benny Mac. And I was like, yeah, but you're a pussy, bro. You don't really talk to women. You don't take the challenges, bro. You're getting knocked out on your lives, and you can't wait to post about it because you want somebody else to pay attention. And everybody, that's why I posted last night. It was like, anything for attention. And this is where Saints addiction comes in, because I have the power over me. I'm the power. This is it right here. It's not an outside external source. It's not like I can purchase it. I have to earn it. And that's the only way it's going to be achieved. It's not going to be in some fakery. It won't be under the influence. It won't be because I think I'm cool, or I hope that somebody thinks that I'm cool. I don't give a fuck about cool. I want to be real. I want to be alive. You know what I mean? I want to be there for it. And that's what memories are there for us to be there in the moment. Because if we put some fakery on it, trust and believe, I used to do it too. I was like, yeah, let's sprinkle some cocaine on it. You know, let's do the tequila. Let's amp it up. What I didn't know is I was taking my moments. I was blacking out. I was shitting my pants. I was probably stumbling and drilling on the girls like the big dude was last night. You know, fake confidence. Girls can see through it. It's going to get you fake boobs, and then eventually they're going to give you their daddy issues. And we peel the onion back. We start peeling layers back and go, okay, where's the center of this thing? And it's still sour. It's a bad taste in the middle of some of these centers, and that's what it is. We'll get, if you bite into it, like any other sin, you want to get some jealousy in you. You know, you want to get some what else is there? Greed, envy, vanity. All of those things are the seven deadly sins, because they will fucking kill you. It'll be like the one, who was the chick, or maybe it was the dude. No, maybe I think it was a chick. No, yeah, Queen Elizabeth. Queen Elizabeth herself was consumed with makeup, and she didn't know that she was giving herself mercury poisoning and lead poisoning in her makeup. And she kept applying it and applying it so deep that her skin started to cave in underneath it. This is what it's like, skin deep, a shallow living, this kind of belief that if I expose myself, then I would be exposed. When I did Saints Addiction, and I'm like, you gotta expose your truth, you gotta know your truth, you gotta get intimate with your truth, because guess what? That's the way you get to real. That's the way you get to Ito. That's how you find out what you're really fucking made out of, is putting yourself in real situations without getting real inebriated, without getting a crutch, without having something come around and be like, yeah, let me excuse myself from my own responsibility and accomplishments and thoughts. No, 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 no. No more running from our thoughts. No more running from our responsibilities. No more running from the other side of ourselves. You're perfectly imperfect. It's exactly the way you're supposed to be, flaws and all, warts and all. You got to be loved the whole way. And that's what we do these times and days. You got to be the whole experience. And it's not just one part of the experience, it's a full experience. And that's why life is such a cool experience, is because it has ups and downs, it has smiles and frowns. And because of both, we get to enjoy the whole pendulum. You can't get one without the other. Not one person is just being super pretty and doesn't have exceptional life and you don't know it. That's not what's happening. They're people that have real problems. They want you to believe that they don't. That's the lie. That they don't have tax evasion or divorces or deaths. That's happening for everybody. So everybody says something to the effect that like everything is like life until taxes. Everything's death and taxes. The only thing you can't avoid is death and taxes, right? um like, yeah, this is us trying to avoid our reality, the situation that we're in, and then we'll use dystopia or distractions to just get ourselves out of it, and we'll pretend. I don't want to be an adult that pretends. I want to be an adult that actualizes. When I was a kid, it's okay to pretend, but now that I'm an adult, I want to actualize it. I want to actually own 5 brands. I want to actually own 15 businesses, and I want to actually stand there and be like, yeah, bitch, I'm sober. And she just couldn't believe it. She actually walked away from me. She thought I was lying, and I was like, yeah, I'm from America. No, but where are your parents from? And I'm like, America as well. You know what I mean? She just didn't want to believe that I was an American, that I had to be something else. And I said, lady, stop. I said, yeah, like, when I'm in Brazil, they think I'm Brazilian. When I'm Hawaiian, they think I'm Hawaiian. When I'm Turkey, they think I'm Turkish. It doesn't matter where you go. That's your assumption. But for facts, both of my parents were born in America, and that just didn't make sense to her little brain. That just didn't. She couldn't compute it. So I don't know what to tell you. Maybe you want to live the lie. Maybe you think that I'm lying, but that's not what Saint's addiction was about. That was like telling the truth up front. Saint has addictions. That's why it's Saint's addiction. And I actually found out that someone else did Saint addiction in a store in Santa Monica, which was really crazy, like an affluent like t-shirt shop. I don't know if you ever guys get a chance. I don't even think it's around anymore, but someone tried to copy my idea. But yeah, man, it wasn't really the coolest idea. It was actually quite embarrassing to say that I had addictions and I shit my pants, and I've been on drugs, and I've fucked up on things. But it's also the thing that binds people to me. The truth of it is, like, you're like, okay, I'm not alone. You know what I mean? And there are people that will tell the truth and shine their light and stop wearing the makeup, stop telling the lies, and stop living the lie. That's the most important part. That's the most morning motivation I can give someone. And get my Roken vape, token of Roken, mention Saints Addiction for 15% off. And even though I'm running out of my cartridges, there's still a little bit of gas left, but it's probably the easiest thing to do, but it's probably the hardest thing to do. And that's getting real with you. We don't want to do it because it hurts. It hurts to say that our past is flawed and our future might be even more flawed, and that we are flawed. But in our flaws, in our nooks, in our crannies, somewhere between the addiction, there's living. There's that, oh, it's okay to be not okay. It's okay to not be perfect. It's okay that your life isn't some fucking way that you wish it to be. It's even better that you're alive and it's realistically. You know what I mean? It's a real life. That's what I think it's all about. A lot of people look around and be like, "Oh, I want to be like Anna Nicole Smith, you want to bang like 90-year-old dudes and inherit their money, but then lose it all after? Or do you want to be the grandmother that has, 19 grandchildren, or builds an era, builds generational wealth, and builds a legacy? Or are you just trying to get some likes? You know what I mean? We're only gonna go as high as the fleas that hit that glass ceiling, and I feel a lot of people are living in a fake life, and they keep hitting a fake glass ceiling and just keep bouncing down and going, wonder why I can't get out of my situation. It's because you didn't want to get real in your situation. That's your morning motivation. If you get anything out of this, go ahead, like, share, subscribe below. You got yourself clean. That's amazing, and that's the best bit of all. You're not claiming the Sky Fairy did it. Yeah, Sky Daddy didn't do it for me, baby. Your boy Marky Saint had to do it for himself, and that's where Saint's addiction got born. So thanks for watching. I hope that you find your real, and then I hope that you keep it real. And like everything else in LEG, keep it real. Peace and love. And as always, Chigathon, live from Finland. Yes, blessed. Travel by Saints. I'll see you on the other side. As soon as you like, share, and subscribe. But the other side of your fear, the other side of your excuses, and the other side of the world, because that's where I'll be. Peace.